Hey, we got a good first half of our podcast for you tonight
Oh my
because
gosh.
here in Houston, it is election season.
Yes, it is.
Election season. Rebecca, let's give it a hand.
Yes, it is. I'll give it a hand also.
That's
I'll
right.
give it
That's
a hand
right.
also.
And we got somebody in here tonight
I gotta go
who
vote
is
Friday.
who you should have already voted.
I know.
Who is we wanted to bring him in because, guys, just like I said when we brought Council Member Shabazz in, when we brought Lloyd Ford in, when we brought Travis McGee in, and any of the people who are running for office who want to be able to get their message out to the public, we give them an opportunity to come on and let people meet them and kind of see what they're all about. That is very important. And today, with that in mind, we have got one of the candidates who is running for Harris County Tax Assessor Collector for 2024, Mr. Claude Cummings III. Drum roll, Rebecca.
I love this production. I can say I love this production. Absolutely love it.
So introduce yourself to us, Claude, and tell us a little bit more about yourself. Now, I put a little bit
No problem.
in that teaser.
No problem.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Krista and Rebecca. I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to be on the show and to let the audience get to know me a little bit better. I'm a native Houstonian, born in Fifth Ward, educated in North Forest. I like to tell people, graduated from Klein Forest High School. From there, I got a basketball scholarship, so I ended up graduating from West Texas A&M University, bachelor's degree in business, and then moved on to Tarleton State University, where I got a master's degree in education.
Wow.
Came back to Houston, met the love of my life, married to my wife, Joaquina. She's still out right now at Fallbrook, actually working a voting poll right now. We've been married.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
That's
it is.
right.
We've been married 16 years.
Aww,
And
awesome.
from that union, we have 3 daughters: Jillian Ray, who is 12, Claire Elizabeth, who's 9, and actually Layla Rose, who turned 8 today. So happy birthday, Layla Rose.
Happy birthday, Layla.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Layla.
birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, so been an educator. Been working for Harris County, currently working for Harris County CSCD, Community Supervision and Corrections, as an employment. And that just simply means that people who have been involved in the justice system, who are on probation, whatever resource they need, whether it be education, housing, they want job training, they need diapers, baby formula, child care assistance, whatever it is, I connect them with the resource that they need. So,
Wow. So wait a minute. Let me back up for a minute.
Sure.
You were an educator.
Yes.
For many years.
Yes.
You work with Harris County.
Yes.
And you are a candidate, and you are what's that one last thing?
I'm a pastor.
That's right.
I am the pastor, the proud pastor of the Victory International Church.
Yes.
And let me say this: I absolutely love my church family. I would not be here in this position, looking as relaxed and calm as I do without the support of the Victory International Church. So I love them so very dearly for their support. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me?
Resume is pretty.
That's right. And the thing about it is, for him to say everything that he said, I'm surprised we've got him in such good consciousness.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
On you got a lot of things on your
a lot going on. But I will say that when you look at the resume, it's all about serving people.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it is all about serving people, and the tax assessor collector position is an opportunity for me to do the same thing as the service, to provide service for people. And also my career path is about giving people hope.
Exactly.
Giving you hope, whether it's education, whether it's CSCD.
That's right.
And the tax assessors. I want to give hope to people who are having a difficult time dealing with the
Yes.
burden of paying their property tax.
And the thing about it is, I don't care what anyone says, and I'm going to say this every chance I get.
Sure.
When I sit down with someone on this show, and this goes for both of us, and they are a teacher,
Yeah.
we know what type of tenacity
Yes.
and what type of fortitude
Right.
that takes.
Right.
So that just those characteristics in themselves
Sure.
to transfer onto other things, we know that
Right.
there's got to be a measure of caring.
Yes.
There's got to be a measure of compassion. There.
Yes.
Right.
There's got to be a measure of hope in
Yes.
giving people second chances.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
And I'll say this: if it were not for grown people, I'd still be teaching. So I didn't have a problem at all
I
with
get
the
you.
with the children. I love the children, but
we
it's
understand.
the grown people. It's the
Right?
adult.
Yes,
It's the
right.
adults that I had the issue
We
with. So,
absolutely understand. Now, let me ask you this.
yes.
Has anyone else in your family ever been drawn to public service? And if so, can you tell us a little bit about that, or a little bit about what drew you into public service so much?
Yeah, so my father,
Okay.
my father is he's currently the international president of Communication Workers of America,
Okay.
one of the largest, if not the largest union in the United States. When I say communication, yeah,
We love
AT&T,
unions.
Okay.
um, those employees, and so it was just watching him,
Yeah.
do what he does that gives me the inspiration and the drive. And then, of course, whenever I have the opportunity, to serve the community through church,
Yes.
whether it's, preaching or teaching or food distribution at our church, once a month we feed close to 600 families through food
Wow.
distribution. So
Yes.
just serving is something that was instilled in me. My mother always served in various positions in the
Yes.
church. And so just instilled in me the desire to want to give,
Right.
and so as a young child, just watching my family serve in so many various capacities instilled within me again, the ability
Now, are
to
you
want
from
to
a
serve.
large or small family?
So my parents have 3 children, so I
Okay.
have 2 older sisters. I'm the youngest.
Okay.
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 But my mother's from Selma, Alabama,
Oh, wow.
and there
Historic
were
Selma.
historic Selma. She
Wow.
actually lived.
My aunt used to live there.
Yeah,
Wow.
she actually lived minutes away from Edmund
Pettus
Pettus Bridge.
Bridge.
Really?
Yeah, and so
Wow.
and
that
she's
is-
actually going back there this week to be honored. They're doing a reenactment of the on the march down there.
Yes.
So it's and her family is rather large.
Really?
But my father's side of the family, it was only 3 of them, and maybe 3, 5, 6, 7. So I don't have very many cousins from my father's side of the family.
Now,
Yeah.
Claude, as an educator, as a career, basically, I would consider you a career educator
Sure.
because that's what you were trained for,
Sure,
right?
sure.
As a career educator, do you believe it's important for communities to support public schools and understand how their tax dollars
Yes.
go directly into supporting schools? For those who really aren't sure of that connection, can you kind of explain it to us?
Sure. So my platform for the tax assessor's office is education and advocacy.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And I want to mention that because I've spent more time talking to people about what the tax assessor's office does
Yes.
than I have talking about myself.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so just trying to let people understand the role that it plays. And so the role that the tax assessor plays as it pertains to your ISDs is that
Yes.
we are the collecting entity for the ISDs. So when you get your tax bill, you'll see property tax, but you'll also see ISD.
That's right.
And you'll
Right.
also see if you have an HCC campus or a Lone Star
Yes.
campus, you'll also see that. And so what the tax assessor's office does is not only do we collect those taxes, but we also redistribute it back to those ISDs.
Yes.
And so supporting your local ISD or school is important because those tax dollars go back into paying teachers and paying crossing guards and paying cafeteria workers and all those things.
So what you're saying is that we should not just immediately grumble and gripe when we get that tax bill.
No.
And-
And I understand, in meeting people and letting them know that's the office that I'm running from. I understand.
but the tax dollars are important.
They are.
They
They
are
are
important.
important.
And if we did not have
Yeah,
those tax
that's I was
dollars in
getting ready to
action,
say.
what
There
schools
are a
are
number.
schools
There
would
are a
suffer.
number of services that
That would
we would
suffer.
have to go without.
Absolutely.
without
and
a doubt.
that's I make this point because you have certain people of certain wealth standards who
Yes.
loathe paying taxes.
Yes.
I said,
Yes.
but we all do.
Yes.
Okay, number
Yes.
one.
Yes.
But I don't mind paying taxes when it's making my life better.
Yeah.
And making the lives of other people better.
Yeah.
But I don't think that has been explained
Yeah.
too well
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
just think
Right.
this is just another drudge or a burden.
Yeah, and
Right.
I talk to a number of individuals who are over 65s, that they no longer pay property taxes,
Yes.
but they still have to pay school taxes.
Right.
And so their issue is, I don't have any children in school. I don't have any
Why should I have to pay?
have any grandchildren that live with me
Right.
in school. I just don't believe like I should be able to pay, school district taxes, ISD tax. I said, ma'am, I understand. But there are still services that need to be provided,
And
the only way that happens is if all of us contribute to that tax base.
And Claude, here's the thing, and this is not the first time that this is going to probably come up, but as our community and society ages,
Yes.
we're going to have more and more people who are over 65.
Yes.
And how does that kind of thing affect our tax base and the types of revenue that we have going into our services
Right.
when we have an aging population?
Sure. Those services are going to increase because
For the ones who pay, it's gonna
more
go up.
the more people we have, the more dollars is going to need to meet the demand of the services that are going to be needed.
That's right.
And so it's important again, and it's so crazy as a tax assessor collector, because one of the things I tell people is that I have to collect your taxes, right?
Right.
As a tax assessor, if I didn't collect your taxes, I would not be in that position
That's
very
right.
long. But the thing is educating you on why you need to pay your taxes.
That's right.
Helping you protest the property taxes so you can have more money to go to other places.
That's right.
And then implementing, additional payment option plans so you can keep some money in your pocket and all of it doesn't have to go to your property taxes.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I've often wondered about this. Now, we experienced this especially in the 80s and 90s,
Okay.
when you had so many people from an urban community
Yes.
moving out into the suburbs.
Yes.
And what does that do? How does that affect in the suburbs, maybe outside of Harris County?
Sure.
How does that affect the taxes when it comes to the pool that we have to delve and dig into when we need resources?
Right.
When people are moving out.
Yeah. So I'll say this first and foremost, and hear me very clearly.
Mhm.
If you move out now, you won't be able to afford to get back in.
That's right. That's right. Anywhere.
That's just the
Anywhere.
truth of the
That's
matter.
right.
If you are in the inner city right now,
Mhm.
if you move out, you will not be able to afford to move
back in.
back
Right.
in.
That's right.
Because gentrification is real. And the reason that it is real is because our people are losing their property because, number one, they don't want to pay their property taxes. Number two, they don't think they should pay their property taxes, whatever the reason is. And what's happening is the land that they are losing, although it has so much value, it's being sold or auctioned off for
Yes.
pennies on
On
a
the
dollar.
dollar.
And the
Yeah.
thing about it is, when you say that, it breaks my heart
Yes.
because
Yes.
people losing property and selling property.
Yes.
And we're sitting in really a good situation here in Houston right
Yes.
now, because we're still considered one of the more moderate places to live
Yes.
and to buy property, and we've got people losing property
Every year, thousands
and
of people.
and heirs not
yes.
wanting to take over the parents' property, and you
Yes.
see property going into a state of disrepair.
Yes.
And then then there's a sign up that says no trespassing, and then
Yes.
isn't that one of the first signs of the county or city entities taking over it?
Yeah, county. So again,
Uh-huh.
I want to use the office for education.
Yes.
And so a piece of that education
I'm glad
is
you brought that
also the proper way to transfer air property.
Tell us about that.
Because what happens is, if that the property owner,
Uh-huh.
they've been living there for 30, 40 years, it's been their property.
Right.
If they if they
away.
pass away,
Yeah.
or if they are moved to a living facility,
Right.
and they move that responsibility from them over to an heir,
Mhm.
what happens a lot of times in our cases is they'll get that first tax bill,
Yes.
and said owner, because they were exempt, didn't have to pay taxes. But now that that tax bill is coming, for whatever reason, whoever has been willed that property says, oh well, I don't have to pay that. That's in their name. It's not my responsibility to pay it.
Don't do
It-
that, right? That's what
don't
you're
do
saying.
that. No, you are now responsible for paying those taxes. And what I want to let everyone know is it doesn't matter how far behind you are on your tax. You can be a year behind, you can be 2 years, you can be 3 years behind on your property tax.
Yes.
There is a way for you to keep your property. You get on a payment plan and you pay something.
Yes.
Pay
So
something.
if you're paying something on it regularly,
You will keep the property.
okay.
You will
That's
keep
what I
the
was
property.
wondering.
You
Okay,
just have to pay something.
And like you said, the education is lacking,
Yes.
right? So because it's not the house that you're paying for, it's the land that
More
you're
than
paying
likely, yes.
for. And I think a lot of people don't understand it.
Yes.
Like, it's not, well, they get this $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 tax
Yes.
bill, $20,000,
Mhm.
$25,000 tax bill.
Yeah.
And I'm not too hard on them, because if I'm already paying a $1,500, $1,600 mortgage,
Right.
That's right.
I can't afford to pay my mortgage where I'm at,
Right.
and then
That's right.
keep this $25,000, and then I got to turn around and pay another $25,000 for taxes.
Yes.
But like you said, the education piece
Right.
is missing.
Right.
So that's why so many properties are let go,
Right.
because people are in the mind frame. Well, I have to pay this, I have to pay that
Right.
on my own, and then turn around and still pay for my parents' house
Right.
or my grandparents' house.
Right.
Like, that's
Land is the one thing that we're not making any more of.
exactly.
There's no more land. I mean,
Right.
you can go into Fifth Ward, you can go into Third Ward, you can go into Sunnyside and see where the dilapidated house is gone,
Right.
but the
Yeah.
land is still
still
there.
there.
The
Yeah.
dilapidated house is gone, but
Right.
on that property is now a $400,000, $350,000 or $400,000 home.
Right.
So don't look at the house,
the
That's right.
structure.
the structure.
It's
Look
the land
at
that the
it's
structure
the
sits
land.
on.
Because even one day we might not see it, but even one day somebody's gonna tear down that $300,000 house
land
right
will
now,
still be there.
and the land is still
will
going to be there.
there.
So it's not the home, it's the land. You're
It's
right.
the land.
It's the land.
But I think that needs to be. I think a lot of our problem,
Yes.
especially us,
Right.
is that
Yeah.
we don't have the knowledge
Sure.
behind it,
Sure.
and that's missing. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of politicians and upcoming politicians
Right.
are not disseminating that knowledge.
And you know,
to
we don't have to get into why I believe that is, and the truth of the matter is because some of them are actually benefiting from people losing their property.
of
Right.
course,
You know, I like to tell people all the time, nothing happens in the city or the county without your elected officials knowing about it.
That's right.
You know, someone has to give them the key,
That's right.
the key to the city, the key to the county, to be able to come in and doing what you're doing.
right.
And then unfortunately, it's some of the elected officials who are profiting off poor people,
right.
profiting off the misfortunes of people.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
You've made a conscious decision to stay in the city and county where you grew up.
Yes.
And we've all seen Harris County change dramatically in the
Yes.
last 15 to 20 years.
Yes.
Why do you feel it's important for citizens to understand the importance of maintaining an efficient yet effective county tax office? How would a vote for you ensure this outcome?
Yeah. So the tax assessor's office, I call the tax assessor's office the most important office in Harris County that nobody talks about.
Exactly.
It is the absolute. And people say,
Exactly.
how is that? I said, because the tax assessor's office has access to every piece of land in the county,
That's right.
not the city, in
The
the
county.
county. And when you say county, I'm talking about Katy, I'm talking about Baytown, I'm talking about the Woodlands, I'm talking about Kingwood,
That's
I'm
right.
talking about
Sugarland.
Humble, every
Missouri
piece.
City.
And so it's important to have someone in that position
Yes.
who is not trying to profit off the people, but
That's
work
right.
for the people,
That's right.
and work with people to help them stay in their homes.
That's right.
It is your generational wealth. And what I want to do is I want to educate you, and I want to be an advocate for you, because I don't want to tax you out of your home. I want to keep you in your home. So it's important to put somebody in there whose mission, whose plan, and whose platform is to work for the people and with the people to keep them in their property.
And that's where your equity is. Your
Yes.
equity is in your home.
Yes.
And
It's on
most
any
of-
real property.
Right.
Yes, any real property. That's right.
Now, you know, there are a lot of pundits out there
Yes.
who would say that
You said that so nice.
well,
That's funny.
well, there are,
Yeah.
there are,
Yeah.
and you can be a pundit sometimes.
Yeah.
I can be.
Yes, who will argue that the degree to which our demographics
Yes.
in this county
Yes.
is changing,
Yes.
that it's crucial to have representation that
Sure.
also reflects the growing bilingual
Sure.
population.
Yes.
And when I say bilingual, we've got many. I think Houston was designated as the one
Most
city
diverse.
in the
Yeah.
in the country
Yeah.
that has the most spoken languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm tired
I
of when
believe.
people saying bilingual. They only
Yeah,
know Spanish.
yes,
You do know it's more than
multi.
just
Right.
I should have said multilingual.
Multilingual. Yeah.
Do you think it's
Yeah.
necessary to be a native Spanish speaker to represent these other communities effectively? And if not, how would you be able to meet the challenge of equitable representation that reflects all of our diversity?
Yeah, and definitely, I believe that the office should reflect those people who are in the community,
Yes.
right? Because as I tell people, I'm running for Harris County Tax Assessor Collector. I'm not running just to be the African American Tax Assessor Collector.
Exactly.
You know, I'm running to be the tax assessor collector for each and every community. And so I believe that it is important to have a staff that reflects that you want to represent everyone in the community.
Yes.
And again, God blesses me to have that position. My staff will definitely be like that. And in saying that, I believe that it's important to have a staff who can communicate
Right.
with everyone who comes in the office in a language in which they can understand. It's important to, when the community outreach team goes out, to have individuals
Yes.
who can communicate what the office is doing in languages in which people feel comfortable and can clearly understand that which the office is doing.
Right.
And so I am committed to having a staff that, again, is representative of a representation of what the community looks like,
Yes.
and then putting information out there in ways in which, you know, those communities can understand it.
Exactly. Now, we've only got a couple of days left
Yes.
till election time.
Yes.
And with that in mind, if there are, let me take a look first, Claude, before we even let you off of here.
Sure.
Let me take a look and see if we have any comments that we need to show here. I think we should be okay. But or any questions. But if people want to reach out to you,
Yeah.
If there's anything that you want people to remember
Right.
about where you stand
Sure.
in terms of this particular election, if you could put it in 3 words, what would you say?
3 words.
You're not here, a pastor, so this looks like a
3 words. Passion for people.
Oh, my bad.
I have a
for
passion
it.
for
I love
people.
it.
That's
I love
that's
it.
my heart. And it breaks my heart when people lose their homes.
Yes.
I tell people
And you
it's
see it all the time.
all the time. I tell people it's
You
about
see it
the
all the
it's about
time.
the home, but it's about the family, because the family is displaced. And now the family has to find somewhere to live because they don't have the home. And so
Wow.
it's not just about the home, but it's about the family. And I
Exactly.
want to help keep families in their home. I cannot say that enough. And the crazy thing is, and I was mentioning this to another pastor, is when has the message of helping the poor ever been a popular topic? It's
Yeah.
never.
Never.
It's never been
Never.
popular, you know.
No,
It's
especially in
never.
politics.
It's
and, you know,
never
Because
it's-
it goes
it's-
against
no.
people.
Yeah, it's never. Pardon me, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
interest.
yeah,
Let me be quiet.
yeah, it does. No, no.
It's never
No.
of interest.
Yeah.
Well,
That's not what I was saying.
but you know what? One thing that you said that I am very keenly aware of is that you want people to know that you will have an office of transparency.
Yes, of
Why
transparency.
Why is that important?
Because if I'm giving my money to something,
Yes.
I want to know where my money is going.
Hello.
Yes.
I think
Simple.
if you are giving your money to something, you need to know where your money is going. And
Right.
the other thing is, I don't the tax assessor's office is synonymous with people coming to give. I have to come give my
Yes.
money. I
Yes.
have to come get my vehicle registration. I have to come get my vehicle. I want to transform the office in which the office is giving something to people.
Got you.
You're
Love
giving
it.
people hope. You're educating people. You're letting them know that someone in that office actually cares for them.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm running. I can sit up here and I can tell you about my opponents, and I won't use this platform to even talk about them or to
No.
badmouth them, but I'd say ask them about their plan.
Exactly.
What is their plan for the tax assessor's office? And they won't share it with you because it's not a plan that benefits the people.
Right.
It's a plan that benefits either their wealthy, real estate partners, their wealthy law firms,
Ah.
and all of
Yeah.
those things, because again, land is money.
Mhm.
Land is
Of
money.
course. Of
And
course
so
it is.
if you believe that this election and this position is not about having access to land and wealth, then you are sadly mistaken.
That's right.
And so when you do your research, if you haven't already voted, look at the candidates, see who their partners are,
Yes.
see who's rolling their campaigns,
Right.
and then make your decision on who you believe it should be best for the office.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
What is the old saying? Show me who your friends are, and I'll show
Show
you what your morals
That's
are.
right. What your morals are.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Rebecca Williams.
What number are you on the ballot?
Yeah.
I am number 3.
Number
Claude,
3.
listen, Claude Cummings III, number
Number
3
3
on the ballot. One for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy. That's 3. I'm all, and I have 3 daughters. So you can't miss me. I'm telling you, you can't.
That's right.
You can't miss me. All
That's
threes.
right.
All threes. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Claude, I want to thank you so much
No, thank you
for
all.
coming out.
Thank you all.
And
for having me.
thank you for taking the time out,
Sure.
because if it's for me, I like to know the person that I'm voting
Yes,
for. Sometimes just what's written on that campaign card.
It's what you
I
want to
want
hear.
to, and when you get to interact,
Yes.
you get a feeling for someone or
Yes.
not,
Yes.
and that's the bottom line.
That's right.
You get a feeling
That's
for
right.
them or not.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to bring Claude on to let you know exactly who he was and what he's about. But thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for our second half. We're going to have some information you may want to know about the upcoming Camp Street Blues Jam in Crockett, Texas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are back. And Rebecca, just like magic, Claude, where's Claude? He's not on here. But listen, thank you so much, Claude, and we will keep in contact. The next part of our show tonight, guys, you're going to love it. And see you later. We are getting ready to talk to a representative from a brand new festival that's coming to Texas. And we believe that this festival is going to be there she is. Hi.
Hi.
Tammy. That's Tammy McKnight. And Tammy is a representative spokesperson for the first annual Camp Street Blues Festival in Crockett, Texas.
Ooh.
Come on, drum roll, Rebecca. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't seen you since December. You look beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Tammy, Kenji, before you walk away, how can we get Tammy bigger on there? Does she need to turn her phone horizontal? Yeah.
Is that what I need to do?
Go ahead and turn it. Go ahead and turn it, because we want to see you well.
Okay.
Go ahead and rotate that phone for us. There we go. There we go.
Is that a little better?
Yeah, that's better. So, Tammy McKnight, I've known you forever, haven't I?
Yeah, too long.
She said too long.
I've known you forever.
We go way back.
We go way back. And with that in mind, Tammy, I want you to tell me a little bit about what you guys have got cooking down there at the CSBJ, the first annual Camp Street Blues Festival.
I can't thank you guys enough for even spending the time with this, because this is something that we're really looking forward to and we've worked really hard for. So
Yes.
it's called the Camp Street Blues Jam.
Okay, I'm going to get you to center yourself a little bit more. Center yourself so we can see you in the center. Come to the center a little bit. Yeah, turn that phone to where you're a little bit more centered.
Is that a little better?
That's a little bit better. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Tell us about it.
Okay. It's the Camp Street Blues Jam. You can actually get information for it on the it's at www.campstreetbluesjam.com.
You good? Yeah, move your hand. You're good. Can you see? Yeah, move
Yeah,
your hand.
I couldn't hear you, so I was
She's
making
perfect.
Okay. And
so
yeah,
we're
and
really excited.
here's the thing. Listen. I wanted to ask you about. Now, you told me some things when I talked to you, and we're going to show a little bit of information first, in just a couple of minutes, and then you're going to tell us about some of the participants who are going to be down there. But I did not know that Crockett, Texas, had such a huge blues heritage. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it really does. We have a street that the festival is named after. It's called Camp Street. And it was actually renowned back in the day on the Chitlin circuit. But we had some of the greats that actually came through early on. And so one of the resulting participants or musicians that was there a lot was a gentleman by the name of Sam Lightning Hopkins. And so we actually have a statue of him on the Camp Street, and giving, in memory of him and all of his great achievements, because we basically the saying is that he went from Camp Street in Centerville, Leona, Texas to Carnegie Hall.
Wow. Lightning Hopkins.
Yeah, so it's a pretty neat story. He was a quite different young gentleman, but he was hardworking, and he knew he didn't want to be in the cotton fields.
Right.
I know that's right.
He made his his first guitar out of a cigar box and a plant.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that was when he kind of figured his way out of. He would sit under the tree and play music and taught himself a little bit. So while the others were picking cotton, and then he navigated his way out of there. I think he even wrote a song later on, and I don't want to quote it wrong, about some of what he didn't really appreciate that was going on in the cotton fields. So he made sure he found him a way out of there as soon as he could.
I cannot blame Sam Lightning Hopkins. and that's a name that everybody has heard of. We've heard of, especially in Texas. We've got several blues greats that came along in Texas, during the time when blues was really, really getting going, in the country. And some of those people were right here in the Houston area, but Crockett is right down the street. And tell me about some of your feet. Well, first, Tammy, I'm going to play this little I don't want to call it a commercial, but it's a promo for the festival. And after we play it, I want you to tell us a little bit about some of the things that we saw. Okay. Okay, we saw a lot, Tammy. It looks like that festival is gonna be a lot of fun. How long have you all been planning this?
Almost a year, maybe a little more. And
wow.
So it actually started, and I have to give her complete credit. A young lady by the name of Robin Ogg. And she's an artist herself, and she's actually from Louisiana. And she her and her husband and her family found their way to Crockett. I want to say maybe during around the pandemic.
Okay.
And they have, because her background being an artist herself, in every sense of the word, she does metal art. I think she does
Wow.
Lots of other different mediums. She's
Yeah.
extremely talented, and they have a business themselves. It's called FG Metalworks, and you'll
Okay.
see that I linked a lot on the website as well. Her husband, I think he makes custom motorcycle parts and different things. So they're very, very artistic and creative. And because of her Louisiana roots, she was very appreciative of any type of music, especially
Yes.
blues and jazz and zydeco, because it goes back to a little bit of her background as well. So she actually, this is her brainchild. She found out they bought a building, an old dilapidated building that was like a block away from Camp Street, just a turn away, and they took that building from a disaster and made it absolutely beautiful for their business and their home. And now they've gone a step farther, and it has influenced the other individuals that maybe would not have been interested in the real estate in that area because it's run down. But now the building next to them, they bought and they've renovated that. There's like 2 other buildings across the street they've renovated. We have a wine emporium. We have Bear Hall. We have she gets on me because I
So one by one, people
yeah, a little
that,
at a time is coming up.
yes.
Okay.
Even though she came from somewhere, she is the person who ignited all of this, and she's done a fantastic job in taking the lead and organizing it and giving it hope and working with the Crockett Downtown Association.
Right.
Really trying to do it the proper way. Her whole goal is for the gym to make money in order to give back to the community and set up scholarships for the local kids who have no idea what type of musical history that they're living right in the middle of. And that's what we're trying to get back to.
Okay. So what exhibits are going to be multimedia art exhibits?
Yeah, we saw on that promo that you guys have got people who are going to be performing arts. They're going to be people who are doing poetry, all types of different types of exhibits.
Yeah, and that's all Robin. Once again, she's really trying to make sure that it's all inclusive of all the arts. She, like you said, from the dance, music, and she has DJs coming in. She has she met a young man that had been involved in photography as like a passion project of his own on the side that no one really had paid any attention to, and he has the most beautiful artwork, and she's going to make a display and turn her motorcycle shop into an art gallery for him.
Wow.
So you're going to see a lot of different things. The main street going toward the square will be shut down, and we have a group of show cars and that are coming in, and so all the antique and classic beautiful show cars will be parked up and down the street for you to walk and enjoy, along with motorcycles as well. So we're really trying to have a taste of everything, but this is our first year, and so we're starting out small, but it's growing really, really quickly.
That's right. And that's why I think it's so important that we let people know what's going on in towns like Crockett. That's right. So that people can come out and support. And if they want to get involved and become involved this year for next year's event.
Exactly.
And you do that early. Now, Tammy, tell me this. This is something that I know you and I talked about, and I did my research a little bit on this. Tell me exactly how this is also going to be benefiting the historic Mary Allen College.
Well, they are working with us, and it's unbelievably, successful and impressive lady by the name of Dr. Douglas.
Yes.
I met her recently, and I think that she has taken over the Mary Allen College Museum, and she was originally from Crockett, and she ended up going to, she told me, University of Houston.
Okay.
She made her way in leadership positions after graduating from University of Houston and all the way to Vanderbilt. So for her to be as successful and, you know, well-read and well-rounded as she is, to come back to her roots, what she knew of, it says a lot about her character. She's really put a lot of time and effort into making sure that she's organizing trips for the kids to actually go and visit the different colleges, including the HBC universities. I know she's taking a group to Prairie View A&M. I believe. Yeah,
you know how PV is special to us.
Exactly right. We're the alumni, right?
Okay.
But you know, you would think that those type of events that were going on, but we still have a long way to go, and she's really making a huge difference. And by her having her education background and being so intellectually, you know, well-rounded, it's a beautiful thing to see, and for her to take that type of initiative. So I'm really hoping that the school board and the rest of the community backs her up like they really should and like they need to, because a lot of times I know I had a lot of opportunity, but I had no idea just how oblivious I was to a lot of things coming from a small town and not having someone. If you don't see it, you really don't know that it exists.
And Tammy, until you told me about it, I didn't go and do my homework regarding Mary Allen College either. From and just with the background that you gave me, I went and kind of did my own little research, and that was the very first school for African American women in the state of Texas.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was the very first school, and it was in existence, and they struggled for a long time because it came into existence in 1886.
That's right.
And that was just a few years after Reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
And it stayed in existence, you know, going in and out throughout the world wars until 1977 is when they closed their doors for good. And what they're trying to do now, and what they're trying to bring awareness of is the possibility maybe in the future of restoring that historic building, and if not that, at least being able to make that museum an outstanding place where people can go and see the history of that college and what all it stood for in the state of Texas.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Miss Douglas invited me to their Founders Day program they had on the 17th of this month.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually a graduate there that from Mary Allen College, and we, you know, they made sure that they acknowledged her and awarded her, and then
from 1945.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, it was really amazing. And then, you know, the speaker was Miss Wooten, and I personally remember her parents, you know, being so significant in our community. And the truth, if it wasn't for Mr. Otis Wooten and his wife, my siblings would have never gone to college. They literally held them and walked them through the paperwork, because my mother had a high school degree, and my father had to quit work in the 7th grade to work on the family ranch and with other farms to provide. So when Mr. Otis and his wife came along, they were different type of educators.
Yeah.
And they really took my brother was the first one, and Mr. Otis took such a good, you know, it took into it all of his possibilities. He saw possibilities in him that no one else, if they saw it, speak up, and it made the difference. And that's how I ended up going to Prairie View as the 7th of 7 kids later on. But they sowed that seed, and so it always has to be one that at least shows you that there's a possibility out there that, even though you don't see it around you, that there's other things that you can achieve and be, but sometimes you just need someone else to believe in it a little bit for you. And they did that. And it was really nice to see his daughter speaking on his behalf and in his memory at the Founders Day for Mary Allen College.
I wanted to say this, Tammy, before I go on to the next question. It is so prevalent and relevant that you said that, because a lot of times, you know, we get these degrees, we go to our fancy jobs and all of this other stuff.
We don't look back.
We don't give back. And a lot of times we are the only success a lot of these children see. You know, we are the reminders that they can.
Absolutely.
And it's within their grasp to do it. So I just sitting here listening, I'm just in awe of hearing all of the people that sow seeds in your life right there in that small town of Crockett. So you don't have to be in a mega city like Houston
Yes.
or Dallas to receive that type of affirmation and that type of example.
Exactly. And before I changed to a different topic, because it was one of the things that we discussed, and I thought, because there was a lot of things that I just did not know, even though I succeeded in a lot of different areas that
Right.
was really kind of abnormal for my background. But she, I said, I think it would have even made a big difference for me if the educators, that every educator that once I went into their room, that when they told me their name, that they turned around and wrote where they got their education from. Because
Right.
I didn't even know that, like, probably, I'm going to guesstimate, but maybe 90% of the minority educators in my small town had gotten their degree from Prairie View A&M until I was there and about to graduate. So,
And
if
let me
I known that, I would have known the possibilities maybe a little earlier.
Right. And let me say this too, Tammy. I forgot to even mention this. The proceeds, much of the proceeds from this particular blues jam is going back into scholarships for the students at Crockett High School.
Exactly. That's really like one of the main goals. No matter what, that's Robin's main goal. And like I said, this is her brainchild, and she has been steadfast on this not being a community business,
Right.
but something to actually put in energy and opportunity back for the kids who really want to, do something and know that they have the opportunity to do something else in life. She's gone as far, she's like I said, she does welding art, and
Right.
she's working with the community and helping them and teaching the kids to weld and repair some of the metal, benches and trash cans and things in the community. She's really gone above and beyond. And as far as the Mary Ellen Museum, even though it's a little distance from the Camp Street, they are in themselves having a huge little celebration there at the museum with different jazz artists. They have a jazz musician, Bruce Middleton.
Yes.
Wrong. That's where they have Stacey Allen, the dancer, will be there for movement and memory. And then they're going to have art displays from Lauren Elsie Adams, Victor LeGivens, Davlin Hayes, Kay Jones, and Missy Martinez. If I missed anyone or mispronounced anyone's name, please forgive me, you guys. I'm trying my best to get the word out, so I'm doing my best.
No, that's okay.
Okay. And tell me another thing we wanted to ask, vendors, food truck information.
Is there still time for people to get involved?
I think that there is, and you have to go to the site for www.campstreetbluesjam.com.
Okay.
And you will see the link for both sponsorship, because we are on a shoestring budget trying to make this happen, and it's really, we're excited. But we still need sponsors desperately.
Great.
We need vendors, and that goes for any type of vendors, whether it's food or art, because we want to make this an inclusive event. So that people can really come and enjoy and learn, of every aspect of the history. And
absolutely. And what about lodging, Tammy? I know that I went online to try to get a hotel room, and it was almost all that's left right now is something that may be 40 to 50 miles away.
That's the downside of a beautiful small town.
Yes.
We don't have Ritz-Carlton. But do you know what we do have?
What do you have?
Absolutely stunning. Some of the most beautiful Airbnb and vacation homes on the lake and in small ranches. And so if you look up, you might get lucky and find, a place to really enjoy yourself. But if not, we hope you can at least come and spend the day with us if it's just a turnaround trip. But there are some options, because our area is really beautiful, and it's growing.
And it's growing.
Keep up with. Yeah,
it's absolutely growing. Now, Tammy, tell us again about the dates. Tell us, and we're going to make sure that we post all of this in the comments. But tell us again about the dates.
It's March 8th through the 10th, and it's going to start that evening on that Friday. Majority of the events will occur on Saturday starting at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And you can see a detailed schedule online at Camp Street Blues Jam, and it's gonna, I think Look, I don't have my glasses, but yeah.
That's
So
okay, but we know
yeah,
that
we have an exhibit that starts early that Friday morning. But
okay.
the music starts with a gentleman, Kurt Christian at Bear Hall.
Okay.
He'll kick it off at 7:30 on Friday evening, and then we have Johnny Riley. We have if you we're gonna have, you list all the other art exhibits and the different things that we're gonna have. But then we have we're supposed to have a performance by our Crockett High School band. Like we said, that's our main goal, is to try to set up and do things that's gonna go back and encourage the young kids to get involved in the music history.
And Tammy, we don't have a lot of time left, but can you go ahead and that flyer that you sent me, most of the artists that are going to be present, their names are listed there. Can you tell us the names of those artists?
Yes, that's what I wanted to get to. And so Pip Gillette, he's actually the other that spearheaded all of this, because he had relatives from here, and he and his twin brother were out of New York. And I remember meeting them when I was like 8 years old, and I thought it was so cool. But they renovated the Camp Street Blues Cafe. So they began all this, and they're the ones who got the statue built in recognition of Mr. Hopkins.
Okay.
And so he will be performing on Saturday. You have Brent Price.
Right.
That's going to be his art exhibit, I believe, at FG Metalwork. You have Southern Android. You have Donnie Taylor. You have Kane Alvarado.
Yes.
Young man, amazing, very young, just unbelievable. And then our headliner is Matthias Latin, and he's actually one of your guys. He's out of Houston, and he won the International Blues Guitar Challenge last year of 2023.
Okay.
So he's the headliner. So we're really excited to have him come.
Okay.
And so as you can see all of the other list of artists and musicians that are going to be performing on the site.
Okay.
On the site. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I hope I didn't forget anybody, guys. I'm trying.
Well, no, that's okay. That's okay, because like I said, we're going to make sure that we get those flyers posted, and any other information. I will be there. Most definitely. I know that Candace is going to be there.
Right.
Candace is going to be there, and
I'm going too.
Oh, you going too, Rebecca? Okay. Well, I can't commit anybody else. I can only commit myself, but I'm going to be there, and we're going to be interviewing. Candace and I will be interviewing. Well, the Crystal Loves Texas podcast and Candace's podcast. We're going to be interviewing the organizers and the artists that are going to be there, and hopefully we'll get to interview Robin. Robin was on. She dropped a couple of things into the comments, but Tammy, we are right at our time right now. But before I let you go, I want to ask you one more thing, and that is, again, tell us the date and tell us the time of your of the event. Again, it's the first annual Camp Street Blues Camp Street Blues Jam.
It's
and the
March
date
through the 10th.
Okay.
And the first performer, we have an art exhibit opening up at 8:30 on that Friday at our Crockett Library. But the first performer will be 7:30 that Friday evening, Kurt Christensen. And it will go we have one more, Johnny Riley. That's Friday. And then the fun begins Saturday morning and go till the end of the night. So we'll have a few things on Sunday morning. So I really hope you guys make a trip and come see our beautiful paradise in the Pines.
And you've always bragged about Crockett, and I got to see it for myself, and I want to see it in all its glory during the first annual Camp Street Blues Festival. Tammy McKnight, Rebecca Williams, and all of our Crystal Loves Texas podcast family, thank you so much. And Tammy, we'll see you next weekend in Crockett.
I'll see you guys.
See you later.
Yeah,
bye.
And bye-bye.
Can't wait to see you, Tammy.
Okay. Thank you.